The Central Asian steppes, vast plains stretching as far as the eye can see, an open world shaped by the wind. These lands have been the homeland of Turkic communities for centuries. The climate was harsh, scorching heat in summer, freezing cold in winter, but the people learned not to fight nature, but to live with it. Tents were set up near rivers on green pastures. Animal husbandry formed the foundation of the nomadic way of life. Each tribe was not just a family, but part of a tradition. The steppe was not just a place to live, it was life itself. Here, a life spent on horseback was the very essence of freedom. This is exactly the way of life we will focus on: the life of the Turks in Central Asia. They did not live settled lives, but followed a nomadic lifestyle. This way of living was not just a choice, but a way to adapt to the harsh conditions of the steppe. Communities moved their camps at certain times of the year to find better grazing lands. These migrations were never random. They were carefully planned according to the seasons, the condition of the animals, and the land's productivity. Every migration followed a clear order and division of labor. Women took down, carried, and rebuilt the tents. Men herded the animals and ensured the safety of the group. Children took on tasks suitable for their age, becoming part of this organized system. The tents, called yurts, were portable yet sturdy enough to withstand harsh weather. Inside, the space was simple but functional, with a fire pit in the center and beds and belongings arranged around it. The nomadic life emphasized the community over the individual. Everyone had a role, and each person knew their place within this system. This dynamic lifestyle expressed not only freedom, but also responsibility. In nomadic Turkic communities, daily life was simple, yet highly functional. The bustle began early in the morning and continued throughout the day. Women spun wool, crafted felt goods, and prepared food. Men herded animals and tended to the horses. Every individual's life was intertwined with production. Living on the steppe meant not just surviving, but constantly creating. Handicrafts were an essential part of this life. Felt making, weaving, and leatherworking met daily needs and carried cultural meaning. Items had to be durable, yet they often held aesthetic value as well: wooden spoons, woven bags, embroidered saddles. These objects were made as part of daily life and passed down through generations. Solidarity was central in the obas. Meals were prepared together, the sick were cared for together. Children grew up playing, but also learning responsibility. In a nomadic society, everyone had a role, and every day brought its own labor. For the Turks of Central Asia, the horse was not just a means of transportation, it was the center of life. Children learned to ride at an early age, and by youth they could shoot arrows and wield swords. A life spent on horseback was inseparable from both daily living and warfare. Turks were light-armed, fast-moving cavalrymen. Their battle strategies relied on speed, agility, and sudden ambushes. Their skill in shooting arrows from horseback gave them a significant advantage over their enemies. But the importance of horses went far beyond war. During migrations across vast distances, caravans moved with horses. Communication depended on mounted messengers. For a Turk, the horse was both a companion and a symbol of freedom. In times of war, the entire obe of the tribal community acted as one. Women helped with defense, youth carried weapons, and elders provided wisdom and guidance. War was not just the responsibility of men, it was a shared duty of the whole society. Turkish warrior culture was rooted in discipline, courage, and a deep bond with the horse. This bond kept them strong and resilient for centuries. The horse was not just a tool, it was a vital part of everyday life. Caring for horses was done with great attention. Strong, healthy horses were essential both in battle and during migration. Training began early and continued with mastery. In war, the horse's speed and agility offered superiority. Horses were also respected beings in Turkish culture, a symbol of friendship and loyalty. During migrations, they carried loads and kept the tribe in motion. Knowledge of horse care was passed down through generations in every household. The use of horses formed the foundation of both personal life and social order. This powerful bond played a critical role in the survival of the Turks of Central Asia and in shaping their identity. Let's take a closer look at the beliefs of the Turks. What did they believe in? What were their rituals like? The faith of the Central Asian Turks was deeply connected to nature and the sky. The sky was not just a vast space above, it was a sacred and sanctifying force. Shamanism was one of the oldest belief systems among the Turks of Central Asia. They believed every being in nature had a spirit. Shamans, who communicated with these spirits, served as both spiritual leaders and healers of the community. They conducted rituals, drove away evil spirits, and prayed for good fortune and abundance. The Turks closely followed the cycles of nature. Seasonal changes, movements of the sun and moon were marked with rituals tied to agriculture and animal husbandry. Looking to the sky was a guide for understanding the future and finding direction. Mountains, rivers, and trees considered sacred were protectors, both physical and spiritual. Respect for ancestral and family spirits was a part of daily life. These beliefs were more than just spiritual, they were a social bond and a core element of identity. Across the vast steppes of Central Asia, belief in the sky served as a powerful bridge that held people together. In Central Asia, life among the Turks was shaped around family and community. Important moments were celebrated together as one. Feasts were symbols of unity and solidarity. The obus would fill with people, food was shared, and the nights stretched on with songs and melodies. Toy ceremonies marking marriages carried the joy of new beginnings. People danced at weddings, prayers were recited, and blessings were given to the new families. Laments, on the other hand, expressed deep sorrow over loss and separation. The pain of grief was shared by all, and each lament became a shared voice of emotion, giving strength to those who mourned. These ceremonies were not only about celebration or mourning, they were also vital ways of passing down the community's values and culture through generations. Elders were shown great respect. Young people learned from them, absorbing life wisdom and tradition. Such rituals held people together, reinforcing the bonds that formed the core of society. In the vastness of Central Asia, life gained meaning through these shared moments. They strengthened a deep sense of solidarity and belonging among the people. Just imagine what would it be like to live as a Turk in the endless steppes of Central Asia, to feel the freedom on horseback across wide open plains, to live in harmony with nature, to look up at the sky each day and walk the same lands your ancestors once did. Yes, there were hardships, but there was also a deep connection, a strong community, and an unshakable hope. Life was a constant journey, sometimes exhausting, sometimes thrilling, and each night the stories, laughter, and reflections shared around the fire gave life its true meaning. That was what it meant to be a Turk in Central Asia.